Oh my gosh. I should make more of an effort.
Mm.
I really should.
I mean, I just got a t-shirt and a hat on.
Yeah, but it's different for men. Y'all can just put on a hat. I need to start putting more of an effort in.
You are a little Wilma.
Well,
And you have the Barney Rubble thing on.
Yeah.
Just call me Fred Flintstone. Hello, Linda Wynn. Hello, Justin, Kara, Hunter, beautiful person. Hello, Taylor, my man. Hello, Casey Kernan. I like that name. It just flows.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Kernan.
It's good alliteration.
Hello, Michelle Stubblefield. I went to school with some Stubblefields. Hello, Chris Savon Okoa. Hello, Stephanie De Leon, El Prana 04. Hello, Stephanie Ramirez. We love you so good. Hello, Darla.
So nice.
Michael Melkos. Hello, Tiffany Tippin. TT in the house. Hello, Krista Williams. Adri Jewel. Whoa, another Taylor. Hello, Taylor Aldinger. We got Taylor Amwa and Taylor Aldinger. All right. Hello, Christy Bazemore. Hello, Jennifer Montgomery Martinez, Speed Racer 0421. Hello, David A. Bear. Christy. All right. Everyone filing into the auditorium, taking their seats. That's a nice picture.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, you are a very best customer. The fact that you're here, you showed up in the auditorium on your own free will, that right there means that you are a very best customer. Now, to get presidential status, that's a whole different thing here. Presidential status will be bestowed upon you if you come to an event, order a hat.
Do we have any hats? I meant to ask
We got a
you
lot
about
of
that.
Get It Babe hats. We don't have any.
Yeah. Well, the holidays are coming up. We should probably get a little merch.
Well, merch.
Yeah, I meant to ask Alan about that. There are companies like John McGill worked with Mensa, where they handle all the processing and fulfillment and everything. And they just make it as you order. Well, it does, it's better than nothing. And they handle everything. But, we could do keychains, that'd be great stocking stuffers.
Yeah.
Insulated cups, because we always talk about that.
Let's do some merch. I'm going to put that on my list.
Put that on your list. Merch. We need to get it done.
Well, we need to get Sin Galvan to help us with this too.
Is she listening?
I don't think Sin Galvan is.
She's very busy.
Well, and it's early.
Yeah. So put that, because with the holidays coming up.
Hello, Amy.
And getting those insulated cups, I think that would be a good one. Like the igloo, whatever.
Stickers?
I don't know about stickers.
I like stickers.
Well, where do you put stickers?
On your bike?
Not everybody has a bike.
On your helmet?
Everybody has a helmet. You can get stickers if that really means a lot to you.
Okay. Krista has a cap and a pen. Good. That's awesome.
See?
I have a pen. We need to get more of these. This is like the greatest pen ever. The Sandwich and Some Lovin', a Kid Nation podcast. www.kellyanallen.com. The logo. Isn't that a nice pen? It's got a little rubber grip. I use these all the time.
Maybe we could sell a 6-pack of pens.
Hello, Jamie. Okay, we ready to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I went to God, I got a lot more. I went to Choctaw too. And what did you do when I was in Choctaw? Oh, you went to that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. Hector Wasabi.
You ready?
Give me a little
test
something.
1, 2. Test.
Anita Handjob, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Anita Handjob, please pick up the red courtesy phone. Anita Handjob.
Welcome to A Sandwich and Some Lovin' podcast. It's a podcast I am so lucky that I get to do with my husband for over 5 years now. I'm Kellie Rasberry Evans. This is my husband, Alan Evans.
A trade in the house.
Thank y'all for joining us.
In the first 30 seconds of this podcast, do they have any idea what this is about?
Stop it.
That's what we learned at the podcast movement conference.
Yeah, the one that we were a part of.
You got 30 seconds
to introduce yourself to the audience and grab them and hold their attention.
Grab them by the short hairs and get their attention.
I don't know that we always do that. I don't think that we always grab them and let them know who we are, what we're about. So hopefully y'all know that, the faithful few that have been there from the beginning.
Yeah, the faithful few. But what about let's hash this out right here on the podcast. The person who has no idea, they tune in. Let's come up with a new intro.
Well,
welcome to A Sandwich and Lovin, and this is Kellie Rasberry Evans. This is A Sandwich and Lovin. We talk about, what do we talk about? What are our core competencies?
Well,
life, love, and sometimes lewd.
Okay, the 3 L's. Why don't we just rename the podcast the 3 L's then?
I don't know.
Because that was also part of this.
Think?
We just went, as we talked about the last podcast, we went to a podcast convention.
Amen.
And we were on a panel that was like, they would literally play you the first 30 seconds of a podcast, but it wasn't just that. They would share the podcast name and the logo, right? And by looking at the logo, does it say what the podcast is? Well, our logo is a piece of bread plus a heart. And, I don't know necessarily that it does say what we are. However, when I was talking to people about it, when I wear a Sandwiches and Lovin' hat with the heart, plus the sandwich plus the heart, people are like, you love bread? You love carbs? And it gives me an opportunity to say, well, this is actually a podcast and it's called A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. But then I have to explain why it's called A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. And I usually say the same thing. I've condensed it pretty well, that how women need to discuss their feelings. And when there's an argument, they can't let go until there's closure. And all men want is food and sex. Well, we couldn't call the podcast Food and Sex, so we called it A Sandwich and Some Lovin'. That's the elevator pitch.
I wanted to call it Find a Nut and Bust a Nut, but that didn't go very far.
No, it didn't. So, now after well over 5 years of doing this podcast, I'm rethinking everything we've ever done. Were we wrong? Is our podcast name wrong? Is our logo wrong? Do we do the intro wrong? Alan, this made me question everything, honestly.
Well, that's what a conference does. It makes you think. And when you go back to work, I remember in the day, in the corporate world,
you're fired up.
You're fired up. Yeah, you go back to work, but you can only implement like
so many changes,
1 to 5 things. So you try to pick out, okay, that conference is very interesting. Here are the things that I think I can implement to make my work better, and make my job better.
I wish we would have actually attended more conferences. I wish we'd done that.
Yeah,
but we didn't. Because apparently we know everything there is to know about podcasting.
I wouldn't go that far, but no, I thought it was actually really interesting. They played those clips, and there were 4 of us on the stage,
and there were some good podcasts out there.
I felt. Oh, what am I trying to say? I didn't want to be like super, super critical. Yeah. Because I remember when we first started, it wasn't easy. It was difficult.
You want critiques. More than harsh criticism, I think.
Yeah.
But I remember there was one, I believe the podcast was called Daily Promise. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that right?
Yeah.
And it's just a quick little 4 to 6 minute devotional. And I thought that was a great idea. I made a few suggestions on changing the logo a little bit, but y'all check that out. It's a sweet Southern preacher who shares little daily devotionals. I thought that was the cutest thing ever.
I talked to preacher host of said podcast. He was a very nice man.
There were some other ones. I wish I had their business cards in front of me right now, but I don't. But there was one that's called something Footlights, but it's not out yet. They're still, a lot of these podcasts have been around. They're trying to get started. Some they're about to launch. That one hasn't launched yet. But it was just really nice to be around so many other podcasters who are, just trying to get their voices heard.
Just trying to make their way.
Trying to, they're fueling their passions.
In this podcast world.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were, how I always joke, I'm not joking. We have very best customers, and those are our listeners. Without our listeners, we got nothing, right?
That's very true.
That goes for all podcasters, really. You're just talking into a vacuum unless you have listeners, right?
But it is interesting. I wonder how many truly podcasts there are in the world. And what's you have the Joe Rogans, and you have, the really big, the murder, the Dateline podcasts, and the true crime ones. I wonder what truly the average audience size is.
When we went to Chicago, was that radio thing?
That was,
but
that was a radio boot camp.
But there was radio boot camp, and I went, but they had a podcast breakout.
Oh yeah?
Well, yeah, you were sitting there with me.
Oh.
So I remember at the time, this was 3 years ago, they said there were 750,000 podcasts.
Well, that was then.
So I know 750,000 podcasts.
I remember this.
But the ones that actually generate some type of revenue that are able to sell ads is less than 1%.
Yeah.
So most people are just podcasting for fun.
Or as marketing tool.
Marketing, it's a passion project, whatever. And like you say, there's not very many that are able to, charge.
It's interesting. And I know so many people want to start one. And it's like, but how do I start? What do I do? And we were just lucky that our boss man had a company and asked us about it. But, I told anybody that asked me about it, I was like, you can always go on Facebook and start talking, Instagram Live, YouTube. You can build an audience there.
I got a bone to pick with boss man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So we have where I was going with the very best customer thing. We have very best customers who are listeners. We also have customers who are advertisers, and we were able to kind of, do a little mix and mingle at the podcast conference, meet some of our advertisers. Now, these are the big wigs. These are the ones that are saying, I want this podcast, and this podcast.
We got to meet our new producer as well.
Yes. Riley. So you got to be nice to all these people, they're helping you out. So yeah, that was fun, but here's the bone I got to pick with George. So he was going to take two of our biggest advertisers out to lunch. So he comes up to me at this podcast conference. He's like, hey, I was going to take these guys out to, I was going to get them some barbecue. So I told them Pecan Lodge. Yeah. Like, George, what?
Did you forget?
What's it? I said, what is it? George,
you forgot.
We own a barbecue restaurant. Hey, man. Well, I wasn't sure how far it was. I'm like, George, it's 2 miles. It's not very far from where we are. We were downtown, so it's right up 75. I'm like, George, you got to be kidding me. Wait, why are you getting mad at me? Hey, man. Yeah. He recommended another barbecue restaurant that wasn't ours.
Well, that's okay. It's okay, honey.
Am I getting too flustered?
They're from out of town. I mean, we would love for everybody to go to our restaurant.
They ended up going to our restaurant.
Good. That's nice.
So George did make good.
That's nice. You want everybody
I just
to go
can't
to
believe
Oak Barbecue. You didn't even say the name.
Oak Barbecue. But
Barbecue.
I can't believe George's first thought was send him to Pecan Lodge.
Well, it's probably because it was right there, right?
Well, it's in Deep Ellum.
Well, it's close to where the conference was. He's probably trying to think walking distance.
Oh, you couldn't walk from it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I'm not going to hold a grudge. I've done so much.
I will.
That boss man has over my head.
Yeah. Speaking of, what happened this morning?
Oh, y'all overslept so bad this morning. Last Monday, I missed work altogether because I was trapped at LaGuardia Airport overnight, and there was just really nothing I could do about it. But last night, I could not breathe at all. Have I talked about my cramping that I get about every few months down there? Have I talked about it?
Yes, because you say
it makes
you quiver or whatever.
No. Not a quivering thing. But
that cramp.
I've talked about it, right?
You have to sit on the pot.
Yes, I have talked about it. I can't remember what I say on the podcast and what I just tell my girlfriends. But so last night I could not breathe. I did a double shot of Afrin nasal spray. I was just laying there, couldn't breathe. And then I started getting that hoo-hoo cramp that just randomly hits me about every 3 months, I'd say.
Ailment.
It's called something. I just can't remember.
But this is one of your established ailments.
It's one of my established ailments. It strikes with no rhyme or reason.
And no mercy.
And I've tried to lie there in bed, lay there. We could debate that another time.
And I'm a master debater.
You're not even in bed. You're up doing whatever. And
What
I'm
are you
just
talking
laying.
about?
You weren't in bed when this was happening, when I was cramping.
Oh, I sat up on the couch last night and passed out.
Yeah. So I'm laying there, and I've tried before just to breathe through it to see how long it would take. And after about 10 minutes, I give up and go, the only relief I get. This is so graphic, as I go sit on the toilet, because it sort of relaxes the muscles, and and I have to sit there for a good 5 minutes before I feel better. So anyway, all that was happening last night. Number one, and well, I shouldn't say that.
Wow.
Toilet. Number one, I couldn't breathe. Number two, I was having my hoo-hoo cramp, my quarterly hoo-hoo cramp. And then number three, I hate to transition to this, but my Aunt Velma. So y'all know I've talked about Aunt Velma from time to time. She is like my second mom. I grew up across the street from her. When we moved to another neighborhood, she and Uncle Herb followed us to that neighborhood a block away. She is like my second mother. And she even tells me, you're like my other daughter.
Uncle Herb or Herb?
Uncle Herb.
I thought the H was silent.
Not when you say names like Herbert. Herb.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Oh.
It's my uncle. Anyway.
I'd call him Uncle Herb.
She's she's in her, my daddy says he thinks she's 88, but I don't think she's 88. I think she's 87. Anyway, she had to have a pacemaker put in today. And so I talked to her yesterday, and she was just telling me, about how she's telling the heart surgeon. She wanted to know flat out, have you ever had something go wrong? Because I don't want to die. That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I don't want you to die either, Aunt Velma. So anyway, I talked to her yesterday, and my cousin Cindy, the one that saved my life, and from drowning. We can tell that another day too. But so anyway, I just had that on my mind. It was just a lot. So back to Alan's point is I overslept for work this morning.
That was a long way to you oversleeping.
I was trying to tell why. I was giving my excuses.
You were painting a picture.
I was giving my excuses.
Yeah.
So what happened was I set my alarm, and I always set not just one alarm, like 2 or 3 to go on. So in case I snooze, it'll keep going off. But what I did was I shoved my phone under my pillow, and I had the ringer turned down so low.
Those aren't pillows.
What was it?
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh, so I shoved it under my pillow, and so my alarm's going off under my pillow, and I never hear it. I couldn't hear it again. And so they're calling me from work. I didn't hear it. And finally, I'm supposed to be on the air live at 6 a.m. Central Time. At 6:11 a.m., I finally hear the phone ring. It was JC.
My man.
It took me exactly 5 minutes.
Was he like, WTF? Or?
Yeah, it's like, what's up? I was like, I'm sorry. Here I go. It took me literally 5 minutes.
What about Robert?
He was home, sick himself.
Oh.
So, but he still knows I was late. I get up. This is literally how I looked when I went to work this morning. I threw my hair up in a bun, put on a dress, brushed my teeth, and was out the door in 5 minutes.
Yabba-dabba-doo.
Yeah, this is my Wilma do. My Wilma.
You're especially Wilma because you're creamy. You have a bun, and you're wearing like animal print short dress.
Yeah. So there's no argument. I do need to start putting more effort into my look. I think
you just need a bone necklace. I might start busting out the orange spotted.
She had a bone in her. She had a loincloth. Or he
loincloth.
Well, he had a whole.
And he had a blue tie, didn't he?
Yeah, but his was more of like a one piece. And she had a bone in her hair. She had like a pearl necklace, right? Or stones.
Whoa! Hey, why don't you do a little bit of this before we do an entire podcast without doing a little bit of this?
Anyway, thank y'all for praying for my Aunt Velma, because I know so many people were, and I really appreciate it. A lot of times raising teenagers, it can be a bit of a problem. And a lot of times you're so busy, you get together with other moms of teenagers, and what do? We sit there and complain about our teenagers and their attitudes and their rooms and their lack of motivation or whatever. But you have to stop sometimes and say, okay, we're spending all this time focusing on the problem. We're not focusing on the solutions. How might the situation go better if we have a different mindset? But it can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when you're faced with a challenge in your life, especially a challenging teenager. But when you learn how to find your own solutions, there's no better feeling. I want to now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. With BetterHelp, a therapist can help you become a better problem solver. They make it easier to accomplish your goals, no matter how big, no matter how small. So, like when I said, when I have somebody I can talk to that's not just commiserating with me, that's giving me actual practical solutions, it helps me. Like when my teenager comes to me with a problem, instead of just snapping or reacting, I can come at it a different way. And if you've never had therapy before, Alan and I could not recommend it more highly than we do. BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, it's affordable, and it's entirely online. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a very brief survey. You can switch therapists at any time. Sometimes you're like, I'm not really feeling this therapist. That's okay. It's really simple to switch therapists anytime you need to.
And when you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. So visit betterhelp.com/sandwich today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/sandwich.
Thank you, honey. What time is it? I need to have Riley do a little edit there for me.
What happened?
It's okay. I'll fix it in post.
Wow.
We'll fix it in post.
Wow. So you had a charity thing you went to last night?
Saturday night. Yeah, it was a fashion show for a charity called Legal Hospice of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And they provide legal services for people who are at the final stages of life who can't afford, to do those things. It's very important. The end of life is messy. If you don't get your affairs in order, the people who are left behind, sometimes it's really, really difficult, and you want to make sure things are taken care of. So that's what the charity was about. And I got a few of my girlfriends to go with me, and it was really fun because it was almost like Project Runway. I felt like, because it was local Dallas designers who did you could see their designs, and it was just like the final runway show, it felt like. So it was really, really neat.
You went with ADG and KK Rippey and Amy, and did Melissa go?
No, it's just I had those 3 tickets. No, Melissa couldn't go. She had something else. I forget. But Melissa, our good, very best customer, Melissa Hecht, she cleaned out her son's closets, and she gave us like 6 bags full of clothes for our boys.
There's a lot of clothes in the living room,
yeah. I haven't even gone through them yet, Melissa. It's a lot.
Anything my size?
It's all her now teenage and older sons.
Darn it.
But we went to see another very best customer, Laura. I had a busy weekend. In addition to the charity thing, went to meet the new baby in the podcast family.
Yes.
Laura and Kay Shelton. Well, Kay Shelton is the Gigi. She's the grandma.
Gigi.
And her daughter Laura and her boyfriend Alan just had a little baby boy
Not me.
a week ago. Not you, a different Alan. He spells it different and everything.
Yes.
But little Grayson James. So I got to meet him.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. So I just had a really good weekend.
Very happy for Laura and Alan. And hello, I'm Alan. So while you were doing charity and kissing babies, I decided to roll up to Choctaw Casino on the motorbike. Reason being, my mom and dad said, hey, we got a free room up there. We're going to stay there for 2 days. And I said, really? I'll just come up there and, I don't know, eat lunch with y'all and, gamble a little bit. So that's what I did. And tell you what, babe, the only thing that was paying out was the ATM.
Yeah. But where's your rim shot? You're slacking on that.
Well, I wish I could take credit for that joke, but I went to the ATM and there was a guy in front of me and he goes, golly. I mean, the only thing, it wasn't Boss Man George. He's like, the only thing paying out in this casino is the ATM.
But I'm bummed.
Yeah, he was really, really upset.
Well, your parents gamble enough to get perks.
My mom laughs at me and my dad because she claims that we're never going to win anything playing penny slots and playing nickel slots and betting the minimum or just a little bit over the minimum. She said they're just going to pay you a little, take more, pay you a little, take more. She says the big winners, this is just my mom's opinion, and she's won big before. She's won 10 grand on a slot before. She goes, the big winners usually play like the dollar slots and they're betting like $5 a pull.
Yeah, I told you that too.
I don't have the stones for $5 a pull.
That
would make my heart hurt.
It takes a lot of guts. You win big, but you lose big. And is it all a wash? I don't know.
Well, they're up there right now, and I haven't heard My phone hadn't been blowing up, which means
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
it's probably not a
usually.
good sign. Yeah.
But they get like perks. They'll get rooms and they'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
free buffets.
Yes.
And they treated you to a little buffet.
Treated me to a little Butterfield's buffet
Yeah.
at Choctaw. That was good. And yeah, so that was fun. I just went up there and took my picture in front of the Oklahoma sign. That's going to be my new bit, remember?
Yeah.
Selfies in front of state signs. I'm going to try to collect all 50. Well, 49.
48 contiguous.
48 contiguous. Maybe Alaska. I don't know how you do Hawaii.
You'd have to.
Because it's an island. I'm sure they have a welcome to Hawaii.
Do you have a welcome to Hawaii sign when the whole island is Hawaii? You're not coming from another... I don't know. I guess you see it at the airport. Welcome to Hawaii at the airport.
Yeah, but you can't ride your bike to Hawaii, obviously.
You could rent one while you're there.
Yeah. Oh, man, how fun would that be? Babe, when we go and we're playing golf, because you're going to play golf in Hawaii,
yeah,
remember?
I've been talking to several women who are members of our podcast family, and they're like, we want to learn how to play golf too. So we're all going to go to Top Golf.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
totally
fun just to get out there and swing a few. Well, you don't swing balls. What do we swing?
Well,
clubs.
Swing the clubs.
We're gonna swing some clubs and drink.
Yeah,
that's what you do at Top Golf.
We've done this on another podcast, but a lot of innuendo in golf.
We don't need to do that.
A lot of sexual innuendo.
We can just find that podcast and tell people to go back and listen to that one.
Not sure which one that is.
Neither.
Let's do some letters.
Okay.
We have a few letters here. The first letter is from Chelsea. Subject, rude ring lady. Hello, Kellie and Alan. Alan, I love you, and I always have your side on your many Boda instances. That's Battle of the Assholes.
I'm guessing this is going to take a turn.
However, in regards to the situation with you and the ring lady the second time, I do believe you were purposely asking for it this time. So Chelsea's blaming the victim here.
Well, not the first time, just the second time.
You knew good and well your name was Walter in their system, yet still gave her Alan. Love it. Your stories entertain me. Love you both so good. Chelsea, I know you're just ribbing me here, but seriously, it wasn't the name thing the second time. It was the fact that she gave me 2 rings in toilet paper, essentially, and they were together where they could become scratched.
Yeah, that was your beef the second
time. That's why I was beefing the second time. And then the manager ran over and said, oh, no, let me take care of that for you. She put each ring in an individual, like a little dime baggie, and then put the dime baggies
in a little tiny, cute little manila envelope.
In a little manila envelope.
So cute.
Yeah, I might have probably been trying to instigate Boda by telling her my name was Alan, knowing that my name was Walter A. Evans in the system. So you may have a point there.
You're guilty of instigating from time to time.
You may have a point. It's not a good point, but you may have a point.
See, look.
What?
Instigating.
I love Chelsea. The next letter is from Yennefer. Subject, question for podcast. Hi, Alan and Kellie. Kellie, do you have any stalker or secret admirer stories you can share? I can imagine you've had a lot. Love you both, but not in a stalker way. Yennefer.
I don't have a lot, thank God, because I think stalkers are absolutely, I don't know if I could say the scariest thing imaginable, but I just can't imagine constantly looking over your shoulder. Now, I've had a couple of instances with prisoners.
Whoa.
Now, the majority of prisoners, I used to have my office at the Kid Craddock Morning Show.
Nationally syndicated.
They kicked me out of it when we started doing Dish Nation, the TV show we don't do anymore.
Dish Nation!
I used to have my own office, and I would get so much prisoner art. It's really interesting. Prisoners, when you don't realize this, because I'm assuming the average person listening to this podcast does not get a ton of prisoner mail. And honestly, I don't get as much as I used to. But their handwriting is all very similar. It's all the same.
What does that mean?
It's like they're writing on unruled paper, but it's like they're writing on straight lines. The penmanship is all extremely similar, and their art is very similar too. So I got a lot of prisoner art, a lot of 3D art, and I would hang it on my walls and in my office, and I would decorate with it. I thought it was kind of cool. But I did get a couple of prison letters that were a little bit disturbing.
Disturbing?
Yeah. One, a man sent me a picture of himself. He was not he was wearing like a muscle tee, like the tank top, a white
Noodle
tank top.
frontity?
No, he wasn't. He was wearing it. He was wearing clothes. It was just like a muscle tee. It was very hairy chest, and he had like a mullet. This is a long time ago. This was probably in the 90s.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
And he was just basically telling me how much he loved me, and when he got out, he would like to, take me out and stuff like that.
Y'all were gonna have matrimony?
Well, I didn't save the letter. I did save it for a long time because it scared me a little. It was the first one I ever got like that.
How many years ago was this?
It was in the 90s.
Oh, in the 90s.
And then that was, but he sent it to the radio station. Okay, so I knew that this person, anybody could find me at the radio station, but it made me a little nervous. The one that totally freaked me out was the one that was delivered to my home. A prisoner found out where I lived and was telling me that when he got out, he was going to come and see me. And that made me nervous. But that's really the only two instances that really stand out.
Okay. Well,
they're not very interesting or exciting stories, but I think stalkers are just horrifying. I know Kid had to deal with that, and he had to have, because there was like a person that was terrorizing him and threatening to do horrible things, and he had to have security. He had to have security for a while, so it's not fun.
I had girls chase me in the 6th grade.
Not the same, Alan.
And then Justin threatened me one time with violence.
He did. That's not the same as a stalker.
That's the only experiences I have.
But I think people who stalk and terrorize people should be punished to the fullest extent.
Not cool.
The extent of the law,
because not cool.
There's nothing like that terror that you just never know. You just never know. Oh, it's awful. Anyway.
Tell you what, babe. That's why I always have my friends with me. Smith, Wesson, and me.
Well, that's the thing, a while back, my daddy thought it was, and my girlfriend at the time, we were like, we need to learn how to defend ourselves. And we need to go get a concealed handgun license. And we went to the class, we showed up bright and early, and we're sitting there, and the guy tells us that if you're in your own home, or you're in your garage, or you're in your car, you have the right to defend yourself, and you don't have to have a concealed handgun license. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be walking around, the streets like the new sheriff in town. So I was like, well, I don't need a concealed handgun license because I'm not going to be doing that, number one. Number two, let me tell you, you got to be willing to pull that trigger.
Well,
and I don't know that I am. I would like to think that I would, but, I don't know. And people talk a big game. Man, if it came to them or me, I would pull the trigger. I don't know. I would like to think I would, but that's heavy stuff too.
Things have changed a little bit, babe. I'm not trying to.
Well, this was a few years ago.
No, yeah.
What's new?
Well, in Texas and in a lot of the states, there's constitutional carry now, which means you don't have to have a concealed handgun license.
Well, that's what this was a few years ago.
A firearm.
My girlfriend and I got up and left.
This is all pretty recent because I have a concealed handgun license, but you don't really even need it anymore in Texas. And there are other states that's the case too. But you don't have to just be in your car, or your house to defend yourself. If you're attacked with violence, you can defend yourself.
Well, I'm just telling you what the teacher told us. You had to have a concealed handgun license to carry a gun
in public. It used to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right.
That was a few years ago.
Right. But a few years ago, you could have one in your car. You could have one in your home without having a license.
So we have our guns. We do have guns. Y'all better be breaking up in here.
We got a lot of guns.
But it's like I would have to come and unlock the door to the gun safe and unlock this. I'm like, I wouldn't know.
And by the nightstand. Cause want them to know. Want them to know.
I wouldn't even know.
Right in the nightstand. Locked and loaded, brother.
Oh Lord, that's terrible.
Why is that terrible? It's in a hand safe.
I don't even know how to open it. Is it the same code?
Well, that I'm not going to say.
Oh Lord, y'all don't be listening to this podcast. This is terrible.
It's not terrible. It's just we're just talking about.
We're just talking to be talking.
Your right to defend yourself.
Yeah, that's true. I would just like to think that if it came down to it,
We're not advocating any type of
No, I
violence.
don't
We're just
ever
talking
wanna-
about your right to defend
I
yourself.
agree, but I just don't want to ever. I pray to God I'm never in that position.
No, you don't want to be in that position. You do not want to be in that position. Why don't you do a little bit of that, and then we have one more that will probably allow us to bring it home for Jerome.
Yeah, because I still have to walk 4 miles. Dang it.
Accountability,
This
babe.
podcast getting in the way of my workout routine.
Wow.
It's true. You know, today my style is very, very casual. You say, honey?
Yes.
But what about if I was wearing my glasses? I want to wear a pair of glasses that match the vibe I'm feeling today, right? If I'm dressed up, one pair of glasses isn't going to work with every outfit in my wardrobe, right? It's an expression of your personality. It's an expression of your fashion sense. And that's what I love about pair eyewear, because your style is constantly evolving. And it's time your glasses start keeping up with that. And with pair eyewear, changing up your frames to match your mood, to match your outfit, it's easier than ever, because you can literally snap on a new design to transform your look whenever the mood strikes. One pair, endless possibilities. Eyeglasses do not have to be boring. In fact, it's really fun. I went to the Pair Eyewear website. You can virtually try on different frames. Now, I went with the Kirby frame. It's perfect for my head shape because, let's be honest, I got a wide head. But they have frame styles for narrow head people. I know they are out there. Average people, but the wide head like me. And then I went with this beautiful blue tortoise. Now, for me, I got the blue blocking lens and also a 0.5 magnification. But a lot of people wear them just for vanity. A lot of people need prescription glasses. Pair Eyewear can take care of all of that for you. But what you do that's really genius is you pick the base frame that you love, and then you choose the tops that can snap on because they're magnetic frames. They have them to match your favorite sports team. They have the Harry Potter collection. They have the superhero collection. They have them for kids as well. It's really fun. And you know how the kids especially when kids have new glasses, to have them with magnetic frames, they can snap on their favorite superheroes. It's really great. And with Pair, you get a great pair of glasses at a great price. Make glasses fun again with Pair Eyewear.
So get glasses as ever changing as you are with Pair. Go to paireyewear.com/sandwich for 15% off your first purchase. That's 15% off.
Wow.
At paireyewear.com/sandwich.
I was going to say real quick, and I should, because with every pair of Pair Eyewear you buy, they provide glasses to a child in need. I was going to say, speaking of children, but we were talking too long. But yeah, that's a good cause too. I love my Pair Eyewear.
Okay, last letter, and then you're going to want to stick around to the very end because I'm going to give you my Dallas Cowboys prediction now that the regular season is about to start.
Okay.
We kind of talked a little NFL football not a lot, but we kind of reviewed the Cowboys and that failed bit last year. So I'm going to give you my prediction on the Cowboys season.
Cannot wait.
And where I think that team's going. This next letter is from Jacqueline. Subject, a love letter. Dear Alan and Kellie, Alan in all caps.
Oh, well, then you better answer it.
Well, let's do both of us. I considered writing a love letter to Kellie, but I would love both of your thoughts on my situation. I'm happily married. I have 2 gorgeous children. My husband travels for work frequently, leaving the kids and I to do a weekly routine alone for the most part. My kids are both your average 7-year-old girly girl and 9-year-old rough and tumble boy. You never know anything was wrong, and I hate to say that because I know things could be way worse looking at them. But my 9-year-old suffers with migraines. He has had them since he was 4 years old that I can put my finger on. He also struggles with vision, a lazy eye, allergies, and sometimes asthma. He seems to be growing out of that. Because of his health struggles and his and hers lack of eating nutritious foods, I decided I'd make a smoothie every morning for breakfast. Bananas, blueberries, small amounts of spinach, Greek yogurt, and orange juice. I knew this would be a struggle when we started, but I was determined to stick with it. We've been doing this for over 1.5 years now. My daughter quickly accepted this fate and drinks the smoothie without saying a word.
Does
However,
it taste good?
it sounds like it tastes good. Bananas, blueberries,
Well, yeah, you
a
put in
little
the
bit of spinach,
yeah, you
Greek
put in the
yogurt, and orange
vegetables,
juice.
but the fruit usually would
I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of bananas, but the rest of it sounds okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so her daughter has the smoothie every morning, no problem. My son, however, cries every morning. He eats 0 veggies, only a handful of fruits. Yes, they take a multivitamin, and he takes another supplement for his headaches. We're following the doctor's orders, but he won't eat good foods. I hate that I feel like I'm asking so little of him, and he ruins our morning every day for 1.5 years now. Rewards don't work. Consequences don't work. My husband is often not here for backup, but he would have given up a long time ago if I weren't so hell-bent on it. I love my kids with every part of my being. I hate to see them in pain, hovering over the toilet with a migraine. Nutrition is one thing we can do, and he refuses to do it. Okay, here we go. Here's the question. What should I do? Do I give up? Please help. I only want him to feel well and stop missing important events because of these headaches.
Yeah.
But I'm sick of sending him to catch the bus after Boda.
Yeah.
We do other things like keep him hydrated, keep him on a sleep routine as much as possible. Please help. She goes to make her 800th behavioral chart of his life.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jacqueline, a very best customer.
Well, the first thing that came to mind for me, Jacqueline, and bless his heart, I can't imagine having those headaches. That's awful. Is it just about the smoothies, or he refuses to eat anything that's healthy? Because I remember, this is so random. This is the first thing that popped in my mind. Jerry Seinfeld's wife. I cannot remember her first name, but I think it's Jessica. Is it Jessica Seinfeld? She did a cookbook a long time ago, many years ago, about how to sneak vegetables into recipes that your children can't taste them. So it's like she would, and I don't know if this is a legit recipe, if I'm just giving you it would be like blueberry muffins with carrots and spinach, but you couldn't taste them, but the vegetables are in there. Try looking for I think it's Jessica Seinfeld, but she has a cookbook sneaking vegetables into your kid's diet, because there might be a way to get him to eat healthier. But if it's the smoothie and you've been doing this for 1.5 years, there's got to be something else you can do. I think a lot of times too, what we've learned with our kids is they are way more interesting in food that they help prepare. And, our kids love those egg cups.
I think that's a good tip.
Yeah. Those egg cups are so easy to make, and you don't have to make them every morning. You can make them every Sunday or whatever. And I think they freeze, but you get like a muffin tins, like the muffin cups. You put the paper liners in there if you want, or you can just put spray pan, and you crack eggs and put them in there. And then you add ham, you can add a little vegetable, whatever that you like to make in an omelet. If they do eat onions and cheese or something like that, at least they're getting protein, right? And you just bake them, and then you just pop them out and you give them these little egg cups.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the kids, when they participate in the preparation, they're more likely to eat it.
I think that's a good tip. Jacqueline, this is a tough one. I can't speak to anything regarding migraines because I've never had them. None of the kids have ever had them. So that's a really tough deal. I know people who have had them,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that it's more than just a headache.
Right.
It's a debilitating condition, right? So I wish I had a tip for you on that. So I'll just kind of more focus.
Yeah, I was just focusing on the foods.
Yeah,
that's what
I'm more focused on the nutrition. I just know that with our boys, they have a pretty decent, they have a good appetites, and they'll eat some things, a wide variety of things, but there are some things that I wish they would eat that they just won't eat. Like they won't eat green beans, really. They won't eat spinach. They won't eat, leafy green vegetables, which are really good for you, which I like. So, I think about this all the time. You can't, I know some parents, they do you're just going to sit there all night until you eat 3 bites of your beans.
Yeah, but a year and a half of this,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Right. But what I'm saying is the way I kind of handle it, especially with Dill, I'll offer him beans and he'll say, no, I don't like those. I don't want them. And as much as I want him to eat those, I know that he's getting calories. He's getting plenty of calories. Maybe it's not the right mix, that I wish it was.
Yeah, but it's probably affecting this kid's headaches.
Right. Yeah, I know. But with our kids, it's something that I know it won't always be that way.
Yeah.
Because I was the same way. I really was. And I think a lot of kids are. There's just certain things they're just not going to eat.
Well, they say your taste buds when you're a child, they change over every, I forget how many weeks it is, that if you introduce a food to a child once, they don't like it, try it again in a month or whatever.
So as they mature and develop, there'll be a point at which, he does eat more, but I know that doesn't help you in the short term.
Yeah.
The short term is what you're really struggling with. I just know you can't really, without playing Boda, it's hard to make a kid eat something.
You know what Dylan does also likes making is popsicles. Maybe you could make some healthy popsicles. Like take that smoothie idea. If there is some fruits that he does, there is a fruit that he does like, maybe you could make a yogurt based or an orange juice based popsicle with some berries. He thought that was really cool. We did some popsicles and dropped some fruit in there so he would suck down to get the fruit.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Jacqueline, I know you've probably tried there's not going to be any dessert until you have your smoothie, or you're not going to have any of the stuff you really like until you have your smoothie. It sounds like you've probably tried that. I know with Dylan and Cole too. Cole's good now. He eats pretty well. I don't need to tell him what to eat. But Dylan, I'm like, dude, if you want me to take you to Dairy Queen, you got to eat a good dinner. And he understands that. So he'll eat a decent dinner, and then I'll take him to get ice cream, But
just starting the day with that much stress,
Yeah.
I would try to figure out another way. If it's just about him eating, the first meal of the day has to be healthy. Maybe just make sure the rest of the meals of the day are healthy. I would just make the morning less stressful.
Yeah. And Jacqueline, is this like you mentioned Boda, and I know you're joking, but kind of not joking. Is this an adversarial type thing in the morning? Is it always high energy? I'm not doing this and you're trying to get him to do it. Is it always really stressed? If so, maybe just kind of like put it on the back burner for a while. I know you're following doctor's orders, but say, hey, look, I'm going to take a break from this for a week, and we're going to revisit this in a week.
But what would be interesting to know is like when dad is home on the weekends, does he drink it then?
Mm-hmm.
Will he do for dad what he won't do for mom? Because that could be just a battle of the wills. And he's like, I'm not giving up until you cave in. It could be that.
BOTA.
It could be that. What if he does it for dad, but not for mom?
Yeah.
So
I don't know if we helped at all. Well, Kellie did. She had some good tips, but
hopefully
mine was more,
they'll grow out of it.
He's going to be okay. But, in the short term, I know you're very concerned about his headaches or his migraines and his nutrition. But it'd be nice to know, or interesting to know too, like what else does he eat? Like,
why don't you make a list of, have him make a list of things and tell him they have to be healthy things that you would be willing to eat. And he might be like, I don't know, but maybe you can, you can go to these. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can go gluten-free with certain things and see if that makes a difference. I don't know. I'm just so sorry that he has to deal with those headaches. I know that's a nightmare.
Yeah. And he just, I don't know, I'm sure you've thought about this too, but maybe he just doesn't have that appetite when he's having those migraines.
Oh my gosh. Emma Kellie has since a little itty bitty, like pre-K, she never wants to eat breakfast. She's never, and we stopped forcing it because it was a fight. And she's like, I'm not hungry. I am not hungry.
The boys eat very little in the morning.
She just does not want to eat anything.
Same with the boys.
And it's like, so I pack her lunchbox. She takes it to school. And, if you can work well with a teacher, you can maybe explain, my son has really bad migraines and he's going to need to have a snack at 10 a.m. or something. Maybe that's an option too.
But you know what? I wasn't a big breakfast eater when I was young either.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm now at this point in my life, I can't not eat in the morning because I feel bad the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I don't have energy. So I don't know. Kids are interesting when they're going through all this, like the things they'll eat and not eat.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully that was helpful.
One of our producers passed me a note. Here's one more tip, Jacqueline, and I'm sure you've gone to resources too. There's a book, Deceptively Delicious: Simple Secrets to Get Your Kids Eating Good Food by Jessica Seinfeld.
Oh.
So
that's the book I recommended.
Just now?
Jessica Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld's wife.
Is that what you just said?
Yes, and I can't remember the name of the cookbook, but
that's
it gets the vegetables. It sneaks the vegetables
There you
in.
go.
I just couldn't think of the. Yeah, so we're on the same page. Thank y'all.
I was listening, but
no, you weren't. You had no clue.
I was listening.
You said Jessica Seinfeld?
I had a clue.
Thank y'all for contributing the title of the book, and thank you to Alan for listening to me speak.
Yes. You got anything else?
No, honey.
Okay, here's the deal. Your Dallas Cowboys played 3 preseason games. You know, they don't show a lot in preseason. What happened? They won.
They pulled out a win at the last minute on this last one.
What they do? Lose 1 and win 2, or lose 2 and win 1?
I don't keep up with preseason.
Yeah, I don't really keep up with preseason too much. But in the NFL, they play 17 games now. Okay. Here is the official A-Train prediction for the Dallas Cowboys this year. The Dallas Cowboys will win 9 games and they will lose 8 games.
Are you going to write this down somewhere?
You can take that to the bank. That's best case scenario. That's if everything goes right. If they lose some players, like they've already lost Tyron Smith. He's out until December. That's one of their best offensive linemen.
That's unfortunate.
If they lost Dak, if they lost Zeke, if they lose one of those guys, they could win 4 games. But I'm saying 9-8, they're going to go to the first round of the playoffs. They're going to play like Green Bay or San Francisco or Minnesota.
Get eliminated.
And they're going to get beat.
Okay.
And then they're going to fire Mike McCarthy.
You think?
Yep.
Because it's Mike's fault?
It's always someone else's fault. It's never Jerry's fault. It's always someone else's fault.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, I've said this before. I love Dak Prescott. He's a great guy. He's great in the community. He's a great leader. But we've seen Dak now for 6 years.
Really? It's been that long?
Yep. 6 years of Dak. And I think Dak's won 2 playoff games. So, yeah.
Well, what are we going to do?
We're not going to do anything. No, we're not going to do anything. We're going to go 9-8. We're going to lose in the first round.
Okay.
And Jerry's going to get everybody all spun up about how we got a chance for the Super Bowl. We're going to win that Super Bowl. No, you're not. No, you're not, Jerry. No, you're not.
Okay, honey.
Okay. I'm already spun up, and
I
the season
know.
hasn't even started.
You're sweating a little.
I am. This is how emotionally invested I am in this franchise.
Well, that's the thing.
And it's a toxic relationship.
You need to read the 4 agreements and realize that their winning and losing has nothing to do with you.
It doesn't have anything to do with me. But you know what I do?
What?
I buy what they're selling.
Right.
I got Miller Lite in the fridge. I got freaking AT&T cell service. I ordered Papa John's pizza. I got freaking Cowboys paraphernalia. I drink the Kool-Aid.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, well.
I'm sorry, honey.
I hate to sign off getting all spun up.
I know.
But it's only been 27 years since the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. 27 years.
I know. I'm really sorry.
That's when you first moved to Dallas.
28 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they won a Super Bowl after I moved here.
Yeah, right. I mean, 95 was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Gee whiz.
All right. On that note.
There you go, guys. So, yeah, email me at podcast@kellyandalan.com if you agree or disagree with my Cowboys prediction. But I think you can take that one to the bank. 9-8.
All right. Make sure you follow us on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Kellie Rasberry. Our podcast is at A Sandwich and Some Lovin'.
Yeah, I'm at the Alonzo 1971. You can follow me there. I do most of my stuff on Instagram.
I share stuff from my Instagram to Facebook, but if you do want to look at my Facebook separately, it's at Kellie Rasberry Evans.
There you go. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Alan Evans.
Yeah.
And wherever you listen to podcasts, leave us a good review, a 5-star review, hopefully.
We'd love that.
We'd love it.
We'd love that. We do read some of the negative ones. Sin was nice enough to post some of the negative ones the other day. Why don't y'all call it some arguing and some bickering? I think that was.
We need to call it some arguing and some bickering.
I think I was paraphrasing.
All you guys do is argue and bicker. I can't stand Alan. He's too whiny.
We didn't argue once this podcast, I don't think.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
Oh, we probably did.
And I didn't even get mad when you were listening to me when I was talking about Jessica Seinfeld. I just let that go.
Yeah. All right, babe. You got anything else?
No.
You got to go walk 4 miles.
I know. It's going to be dark.
Yeah, it is getting dark, but it'll be cooler.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I love you desperately.
Love y'all.
Love our listeners desperately.
No, that's not the
Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I just got confused.
Yeah, you did get confused. But that's okay, because I'm sure we'll podcast again real soon. And in the immortal words of the great Keanu Reeves, life is good when you have a good sandwich. Bye. Hey, Mel. All right, guys. Kelly's going to walk. I'm going to upload. But that was a tough one with the migraine and the food. That's a tough situation, you know?
It is tough. What are we calling it?
What do we call it?
What are we calling it?
What did we talk about?
We started with a recap of the podcast convention.
Oh, yeah. And then we did stalkers.
That was in the letters, right?
Yeah. And then we had the migraine letter. Thank you, Mel.
So we talked about our podcast convention. Then I need to take notes.
Amen.
Then what did we talk about? Then Alan goes straight into listener mail.
Thank you,
Did you
Tanya.
go straight into listener mail after that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Come up with a title, please.
I'm
Ask them
thinking.
for their help. They're
thinking.
usually very helpful.
I'm thinking. A sandwich and some podcast insecurity.
Oh.
A sandwich and some the nutrition letter we spent a lot of time on. Convention, oversleeping, weekend casino, and then letters.
Oh.
Kind of just a grab bag. I'm not good at this.
That's why you need to ask them.
You guys are much better at this than I am.
Ask them while I'm typing out the description.
Help me a title. A sandwich and a grab bag, a sandwich and some advice, a sandwich and Christy Kincaid Norris said it's not a complete podcast without Kelly rejecting my title idea.
Oh, who said that? Christy. What was the idea?
It doesn't matter what her idea is.
Well, maybe I'll love it.
You're going to shoot it down.
Maybe I'll love it.
A sandwich and a burly prisoner? Burly? Was he burly? It's one of my favorite words, by the way. Burly. Burly. Real burly. Gonzalo, my man. My man. See you, Mel. A sandwich and some late for work. A sandwich and some late for work. A sandwich and some slept through the alarm. A sandwich and some alarm clock under the pillow. A sandwich and some can't think of a title. A sandwich and some title goes here. A sandwich and some pain in the ass. I don't know, babe. Night, Mel. A sandwich and some pillow sleep. Okay, I gotta eat something. I haven't had din.
Please help me come up with a title. I've really got to have
I
one.
threw out 10 ideas.
I was typing and I wasn't listening.
Okay, well, I'm out.
What is it?
I'm done. I've had enough. I've had enough of this buffoonery. Sandwich and some new logo? No, I don't think we're gonna do a new logo. Yeah.
Oops.
A sandwich and a sleeping beauty? A sandwich and some channeling Wilma? There you go. I came up with it tonight. All right, guys. Gotta go. A sandwich and a hoo-ha? A sandwich and hoo-ha pain? A sandwich and sitting on the pot to avoid hoo-ha pain? A sandwich and Sunday poop pains? Oof. A sandwich and some buffoonery? Oh, I guarantee we've done that one before.
Uh-oh, I've lost my...
See you, Charles. All right, guys. We're checking out.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon.
Thank y'all for your help.
Yes, thank you.